sometimes God allows you to witness His working in someone else's life from a distance. And you can pray for them, and you hear how He's working either by word of mouth or from an email or some sort of source. And then there's times when God gives you a front row seat to Him working in someone else's life. And in the case of Timesia and Joshua's journey, He gave us front row seats. And when you're there, you feel all of the emotion. You're a part of the journey. And what it does for you, it confirms God's activity in their life, and that God is alive and well and working in this world. And then when you're asked someday to travel a journey, your faith is strengthened because you've already seen Him work in the lives of others.
I know when you get down to the details of just the journey with Timesia and Joshua, John and I, of course, we have loved them from the moment we met them, and God places people in your lives. Sometimes you don't know what the future is going to behold, and I know they came to our church serving and healthy, and their faith and testimony has always been a blessing to John and I. From the background that Joshua came from, and a different country, and to see his how God can reach across the oceans to people, and that was always encouragement, I know, to John and I. But with this disease that Timesia began battling, I know we personally watched her from, the doctors didn't even know for sure what it was. They even, I know she had a diagnosis that wasn't correct because they were just searching. And I know watching someone go through that and not knowing what's happening to their body, I know it was hard for us to comprehend what she was going through. Sometimes she'd have her ups and downs, and some days she'd be well, other days she wasn't. And Timesia is a very private person, her and Joshua, and they hold their faith very private too, but then they put it out there. But they, I know it showed me that there's lines that we have to cross, and sometimes we have to get into the ugly part of someone's lives to walk beside them. And I know it was hard for her those days. That disease, especially before she even had her treatment, would just take every ounce of energy out of her, and she had nothing left. And physically, you have nothing left. It affects you emotionally. But one thing that was constant with Timesia and Joshua and Timesia was her faith. Even on the worst days, she still gave God the glory for it. She was, I remember visiting her down at the Baptist hospital. And again, it showed me when you're put away in some place where there's no one there, no one physically, all she had was God. She didn't know a soul in that hospital. And I know that Sunday that we drove down there to her, it really, sorry about my tears, but it really it struck a note with me that, God didn't put us here to be by ourselves. He put each one of us to be with each other. And I know I remember some of the stories in the Bible. God was always sending people to encourage his disciples in their walk and their struggles, always putting people beside them. And sometimes I think it struck again with me, like John said, we were front rows. So Sandra, what are you doing with this faith? Well, it showed me that sometimes you don't know what to do for someone, but sometimes it's just a touch and a physical touch, and God uses those physical touches, and it's made me more aware of just being there for people that when they don't even know how to ask for help. And but with all this whole journey with Timesia and Joshua, like I said, I know we would go to their home and pray with them and try to encourage them. But again, we'd always walk away encouraged, didn't we?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, like Sandra said, there were times when I'm sure it seemed like all Timesia had was her faith, but that was sufficient. And to Sandra's point, we're here for the purpose. God put us in a body of believers, and we are members of that body. So when one part of the body is hurting, we have an opportunity to be a part of the healing process. And whether it's that touch when they're alone in a room, or whether it's praying with them, or whether it's rejoicing with them, when God reveals himself in very, very special ways, it's all a part of the journey. And as before, when you come through the other side of it, everyone's faith is strengthened by what they've been through. And I guess at that, what I said a little bit earlier, I guess if I had the choice, most of us would prefer to witness it from afar. But there's no place like being on the front row.
Well, one thing that, again, this disease that she has battled, and she's still dealing with disabilities from that disease, and has went through treatment and went through a treatment that's going to help others. The doctors are going to learn how her body has reacted to this treatment, and she has given others a place to go that has been shown some success, and they're going to do some studies. And Timesia is a groundwork doing this for humans around the world, that has this same disease. And I just her strength as a woman, but her strength in the Lord is just what has sustained her. And I just know if I was in a place as she was and had the need, I would want people to be right there with me. And I think sometimes we misunderstand diseases because we don't understand them, so we don't know what to do. And not doing anything isn't the right thing. It's doing something and following your heart and praying for God to show you those moments that you can encourage your brother and sister in their walk. And then the celebration that we had with them once she has got back from her treatment. It took months and months and months for her to even be where she is today, just to regain her strength, but to celebrate with her. And she never gave up giving. In fact, I just talked to her this morning. She was on her way to visit someone at the hospital. I mean, she hasn't let this disease stop her. And I think that's it has encouraged me, because I know, this world we all are going to suffer at one time. Whether the Lord tarries his coming, then what's ahead of us for our health. But she's been a testimony to us, and we just appreciate and love both of them so much.